Before installation, ensure that the product and adhesives meet acclimation and site requirements per installation guidelines and product specifications. Mohawk sheet good seams are either cold welded or heat welded together. Check to see what kind of welding your sheet requires for installation. After seams have been prepared, place one side into the adhesive and roll the seam area using a 100-pound roller. Apply a small bead of seam sealer along the edge of the installed sheet. Skip the seam sealer if the seam will be heat welded together. Place the edge of the uninstalled sheet against the edge of the installed piece and press it into place. If seam sealer is used, remove excess sealer using a plastic putty knife, followed by wiping the seam area using a clean, dry cloth, followed immediately with a clean cloth dampened with denatured alcohol. Using a clean cloth, repeat until all residue is removed from the surface and protect the seam for a 6-hour minimum. For heat weld seams, wait a minimum of 12 hours before heat welding the newly installed sheet goods. Seam edges should only be slightly gapped, about a business card thickness, and vertical. Wide-gapped and/or undercut seams will prevent quality welds. The depth of the groove should be 1/2 to 3/4 the thickness of the material. Do not go too deep. The groove must also be centered between edges. Both are critical to ensure proper strength and bonding. Make sure grooves are clear of all debris, including dust. Use only specific weld rods designed for the product being installed, and use professional quality welding equipment to maintain sufficient temperatures. Choose a welding tip that can produce a quality weld without damaging the sheet goods' appearance. Mohawk recommends practicing on a scrap piece to fine-tune the temperature and pace for the type of substrate and site conditions. Determine the correct welding speed by ensuring that the welding rod fuses into the groove. A small ridge must form on either side of the welding rod at the product surface. If no ridge forms, you have not heat welded the seam correctly. While the welding rod is still warm, trim off 1/2 to 2/3 of the excess rod with a spatula or a crescent knife and trim plate. After the rod has cooled to room temperature, make the final trim pass using only a spatula or crescent knife in one continuous movement. For any questions, contact Mohawk Technical Services at 1-800-833-6954.